Hi, my name is Kim. I did a previous video for the careers for the personality types, and my last video I did for the NFs. I mentioned more careers for the NFs, and I only mentioned one for the NT, and so I wanted to add a couple more careers that NTs I think they would get into. One of them is I think they would enjoy being an astronaut, to go up in space, the outer space, and to see the planets, see the moon and the Milky Way. And it's just, I really think they would enjoy that, the whole wonder of it, the truths of it. I think they would really enjoy that. Yeah, so I know for myself, I want to have a telescope um, to look at the stars and the moon and whatever else is out there. But anyway, yeah, NTs would definitely enjoy that line of work. Another line of work that they would be in is they could be doctors. To be in that line of work, to be a doctor, you have to be objective. You have to push your feelings aside. You have to be logical. You have to be, just objective. And you have to learn a lot of medical terminology, and remember that. So it's a lot of information to take in. Also, being a doctor, it's a stressful job. Doctors are dealing with patients constantly and helping each one, getting blood tests from them, getting them to do some MRIs or just to have a CT scan test. And if a patient comes in and they say, well, I have a lump on my body, and so the doctor will examine that lump. They will either get the patient to do an MRI to see if there's something, if the lump is there, if it's non-cancerous or if it's cancerous. Now, if it is cancerous, the very hard part for doctors is to tell the patient and the family that that patient has cancer. And so that is a very hard thing that doctors have to do. They really have to be calm and just explain, what the test said and it's cancerous, and they want to get the patient right away on chemotherapy, or depending where it is, maybe in the body, getting some radiation treatments that could shrink the lump or the tumor. Chemotherapy, it's I've heard it's not a pleasant thing for those who have been diagnosed with cancer. So being a doctor, you got to compartmentalize your feelings, and NTs can do that very well. So doctors, it's very, very high stress career, but we need them. If we didn't have doctors, the whole world would be sick and people would be dying off and everything. So it is good that we have doctors. Now, another career I think they would be good in is psychiatry. Like being a doctor, psychiatrists, they need to put their feelings aside. They need to be objective. They need to ask questions for their patient. If the patient has a mental illness, the psychiatrist will ask questions to draw the person out, and the person, would explain what they're going through, what the symptoms are. And so psychiatrists, they have to know all the information in the DSM-5 for mental illnesses in order to diagnose their patient with mental illness and get them on medication, the right one, get them on medication right away. So that's a very stressful job too, because they are dealing with many patients who have different mental illnesses. And it's, you're listening to patients, what they go through. And so, yeah, they've got to compartmentalize their feelings. They have to be objective. Psychiatrist, while the patient is talking about what they're going through, the symptoms and the whole bit, they're writing down that information. And that information helps them to know what they're dealing with, what sort of mental illness the patient has. So yeah, NTs would be good with that too, that kind of career. Also, NTs, they could be lawyers. Yeah, they can be lawyers. They're fair. NTs are fair. And NTs, especially, the ENTJ, like they're really into, to defend the underdog, defend a person that has been accused of something. And so the lawyer, before they go to court, they get together and the person tells, the lawyer what has happened, and that they tell them, I'm innocent. I haven't done anything. And it has happened these days, where people are accused of doing something wrong when the person hasn't done anything wrong, but they're being accused. And so the lawyer, they would also need to have their wits about them, to put aside their feelings, so that they can have that clarity to help their client. So a lawyer, they ask a lot of questions. They ask questions actually to those who are witnesses that go on the stand, and so they answer the questions of the lawyer. The lawyer will ask many questions, and this witness, has to be honest, because they basically swore an oath, and so they have to tell the truth. And so, the lawyer is all about the evidence. Okay, so what does the evidence say? Where was this evidence? So it's about getting to the matter of the truth. Okay, so there's evidence that this person that the lawyer is defending, that may, kind of not help that person in court, because they say they haven't done it, but there's evidence to prove, to prove that they might have done that. And so that can be a stressful job too. Lawyers are representing so many people in court, defending them. And so I think NTs would be really good with a job like that. Also, NTs, they can get into just trying to think here. Okay, yeah, I mentioned engineers, architects. I think NTs could get into being a dentist. The dentist, they're dealing with a lot of people too, with people's teeth, and they need to examine their mouth, and especially if the patient, has some, aches and pains on his tooth. And so the person would go to the dentist and tell the dentist what's going on. They would say, I've got a tooth that hurts. I don't know what's going on. So the dentist will take a look, and they will see whether the tooth is infected or if it's something else that has caused the tooth to be sore. So there's a lot of examination. If it is an infection, they may have to pull the tooth. If the tooth is not pulled out and it is, there is an infection there, this could really, can cause problems with a person's heart. Apparently, that's what I've heard. It could cause some problems with your heart and many other health problems. So the dentist knows, the complications that will happen if the tooth is not pulled out. So they pull the tooth out, and to stop the infection, because if you have an infected tooth, and if you left it any longer, that tooth infection is going to spread through all your mouth, and you're going to end up having all your teeth pulled out, and that's not a good thing. So yeah, that's one example of what a dentist does, and I think NTs would be good with this career too, because you're examining, and dentists they are like doctors, because doctors have to they have to look and see what's going on with a person's body, with the health problem they've come to the doctor about. They have to examine the problem, just like the dentist. So yeah, that's what I think that a dentist would be a good career for NTs. Okay, so I was glad I was able to name some more, because in the last video I only mentioned one, and I wanted to kind of, give some more, a couple more careers for NTs. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you've learned something from it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm going to say goodbye.